was professor of preaching at the Universalist Crane Theological School at Tufts University. Touch not my lips with white-hot fire from the glowing altar of some peaceful shrine. Thrust not into my hands the scroll of wisdom gleaned through the patient toil of centuries. Give me no finished chart to follow without effort or the bitter taste of tears. I do not crave the comfort of the creeds, nor the sheltered harbor where the great wind ceases to blow. But winnow my heart, O God, torture my mind with doubt. Let me feel the clean wind of the open sea until thy creative life is my life and my joy, one with the growing miracle of spring and the blowing grain, the yearning of my fellow men, and the endless reach of the stars. Come, come, whoever you are. All together now. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Our responsive affirmation this morning is number 591 in the back of your hymnal, 591. I'll give everyone a moment to turn to 591. I will read the portion in plain text, and the congregation is invited to respond with the text in italics. I call that church free, which enters into covenant with the ultimate source of existence. It binds together families and generations, protecting against the idolatry of any human claim to absolute truth or authority. I call that church free, which brings individuals into a caring, trusting fellowship. It is open to insight and conscience from every source. It bursts through rigid tradition, giving rise to new and living language, to new and broader fellowship. It is a pilgrim church, a servant church, on an adventure of the Spirit. The goal is the prophethood and priesthood of all believers, the one for the liberty of prophesying, the other for the ministry of healing. Amen. Amen. Let's try singing together. Hymn 290, Bring, O Past, Your Honor. And again, I'll sing just a few of the words, and then we'll sing together. Bring, O past, your honor. Bring, O time, your harvest. And together now. Bring, O past, your honor. Bring, O time, your harvest. Golden sheaves of hallowed lives and minds by truth made free. Come, you faithful spirits, builders of this temple, to holiness, to love and liberty. Ring in glad thanksgiving, bell of grief and gladness. Forth to town and prairie let our festal greeting go. Voices long departed in your tones re-echo. Praise to the highest, peace to all below. Shrine of frontier courage, Sinai of its vision, home and hearth of common quest for life's immortal good. Stand in years oncoming, sentinel of conscience, as through the past your stalwart walls have stood. Church of pure reformers, pioneers undaunted, company of comrades sworn to keep the spirit free. Long o'er life's swift river, preach the eternal gospel, faith, hope, and love for all humanity. I often tell my home congregation back in Eldorado, Ohio, that one of the most important things that we do, in some ways even more important than any message the preacher can bring, is the sharing of our joys and concerns. What celebrations and concerns would you lift up this morning? I think they've got a little bowl for putting stones in. praying. The least and the greatest, people of all faiths and people of none, lifting one another up in the temple of the human heart, to the end that all souls might grow into better harmony with each other and that which is divine. We drink from wells that we did not dig. We eat the spiritual fruit of trees that we did not plant. For the planting of trees, for the digging of wells that will sustain people yet to come, the morning offering will be gathered and received with great gratitude. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From all that dwell below the skies, may words of faith and hope arise. May peace, goodwill on earth be sung through every land by every tongue. There are two readings appointed for this morning. The first comes from the hidden words of the Baha'i Faith, Part 1, Lesson 48. For everything there is a sign. The sign of love is fortitude under my decrees and patience under the trials ahead. And from the book of the prophet Isaiah, do not remember the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth, shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The beasts of the field will honor me, the jackals and the ostriches, because I give water in the wilderness and rivers in the desert, to give drink to my people, to the chosen, this people I have formed for myself, and they shall declare my praise. I'm going to admit this morning to being the kind of nerd who loves religious history. I will read things like the writings of St. Augustine, the theological ponderings of Alfred North Whitehead, and I once read the collected letters of Judith Sargent Murray, not because anyone told me to, but just because I was curious and wanted to. So it makes sense that I'm here at Universalist Convocation, meeting at Clayton Memorial Church in this lovely corner of South Carolina, here at an event dedicated to the roots of Universalism and a historic church named for a weighty preacher of our faith. However, I'm also going to tell you something else, and it can be a little bit challenging, because I know that the historic past is not a place to live. It can easily become a land of vague memories, a few of them even fabricated, as well as being a land of ghosts that haunt us with sadness and even a sense of loss, that the good old days are just purely behind us, and we could never do as well as them. It is true, when it comes to historic stories, that Universalists have so many of the very best stories. George de Benneville's mystical experience, dare I say conversion, among Muslims in a port city in North Africa. Ask me for that story. There's a lot of drama to it. Then there was John Murray being shipwrecked on the coast of New Jersey and meeting a man named Thomas Potter who said that God would be sending him a preacher. Augusta Jane Chapin, the second woman ordained to the ministry by Universalists. It's never easy to be number two. And yet she did amazing ministry. And she was one of the founders of the World Parliament of Religions when it met for the first time in Chicago. And my personal favorite, because I'm doing doctoral research on him, Clarence Russell Skinner, who weathered severe controversy over his World War I pacifism to eventually articulate a take on 20th century Universalist theology that still defies many of our reflexive attempts to categorize people as, oh, those people are Christians and those people are humanists and those people over there do world religions. No. He said in Universalist churches, we are universalists, not partialists. Now, you could do far worse than pay attention to history and to our own Universalist history. We presently live in a denomination that struggles with a pervasive level of historic amnesia about our own history of thought and practice. I was once told by an ordained colleague of mine that Universalism did not have a historic focus on reason and rationalism like the Unitarians did, because Universalism was an emotional religion of the heart. And as heartfelt as we might be, it is not true that we lacked a focus on the use of reason in religion. One only needs to look at the writings of Hosea Ballou to see the proof. And yes, then fairly early in our movement, when he told people that everything that you need to know for your salvation is reducible to human understanding. The bar is not set so high that you will fail to understand it and trip and fall. Our denomination is prone to pit Christianity and humanism and world religions against one another in some identity crisis-driven search for whatever gets termed real UUism. And so we continue to ignore Clarence Skinner's warnings about partialism. that theological term that Universalists kept digging up from time to time. Coined because it divides people up into the saved and the damned. So yes, we could do far worse than explore our own history and be literate about it. Our past can better inform a better present and a better future. On the other hand, those of us who like to focus on history sometimes do it in a less than healthy mode. I have been guilty of it. We focus on the history of Universalist preaching, theology, and weighty persons, and we do so while avoiding the questions of what the present and the future require of us. It can be an attempt at escapism. We try to escape the decline and the loss that we have witnessed. We try to escape into the past to avoid the pain-filled and polarized culture of the present day. And I know firsthand it is easier and less controversial to focus on history than it is to focus on what the present moment is demanding from us. In some ways, chronology is less controversial than it is to articulate a spirituality that feels relevant to the very deep and difficult needs of the present time. It's easier to study the prophets of the past than to live out a present-day prophethood of all believers. We get nervous when we ask, how then shall we live right now? I want to suggest to this assembly that we can't find our way forward if we are always looking into the past. It's hard to walk forwards if you're always looking backwards. Gazing into the past while trying to step forward into the future is a stumbling, halting journey of trip hazards. We need to balance our time looking backwards with time spent looking at the present. And even, I might suggest, gazing out onto the horizon, because somewhere out there is the future. Where are we speaking powerfully to the lived experience of our neighbors? When John Murray or Daniel Bragg Clayton were speaking, were they speaking about the history of our movement? No. They were speaking to people's fears of hellfire and damnation. Was Augusta Jane Chapin preaching about people and places from our past? Maybe for her, John Murray, Judith Sargent Murray. No. She was speaking about the urgent need for mutual understanding between the world's religions. Clarence Russell Skinner did not live out his giftedness by preaching about other Universalists from his past. He spoke very powerfully about the crisis of modernity that was all around him in the first half of the 20th century. His ministry spanned just before World War I, through World War I, the Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression, World War II. And so he asked, how shall we live in a world where multiple world religions have communities living side by side? He asked, what common bonds can unite us as a global human race? He asked, is progress guaranteed, or must we strive and sacrifice to attain it? Where are Universalists speaking persuasively to the needs of our present day? Not just the busy but necessary work of social justice and community service, but what gives people all around us meaning, hope, an alternative to a culture that has been engulfed in fear and polarization and cruelty? What fosters compassion in our culture now? What inspires our transformation into beings that are wiser and more compassionate? I personally think these things need to be attended to before one engages in the work of social justice. I love exploring religious history, but I cannot live in the past, and neither can you. We are here right now, today in this place. And can we grow in wisdom, in kindness, in hope, in peacefulness? Can we help the world around us also grow in these ways? Can we reflect a sacred reality that desires the salvation of all things, maybe even the natural world around us too? I do hope so. I suspect that it is not guaranteed. It demands our attention and our action, and it demands a little bit of something beyond ourselves. Some will call it God or spirit or the humanist ethical ideal. But none of these things can live in the past, and neither can I, and neither can you. And so I share this prayer with you. Thou of infinite names, God, Spirit, Eternal Mother, Adonai, Brahma, ethical ideal, where will your light lead today? Help us to be fully awake and ready to respond. Grant us courage to risk something new and to become a blessing of love and peace for the people we will meet this day. Amen. We'll try singing again. It sounds along the ages. I'll sing a few of the words first, and then we'll start over again and sing the whole thing together. 187. It sounds along the ages, soul answering to soul. Let's try it together now. It sounds along the ages, soul answering to soul. It kindles on the pages of every Bible scroll. The psalmist heard and sang it, from martyr lips it broke, and prophet tongues outrang it, till sleeping nations woke. From Sinai's cliffs it echoed, it does tree. It charmed in Athens' market, it hallowed Galilee. The hammer stroke of Luther, the pilgrim's seaside prayer, the oracles of Concord, one holy word declare. It calls and lo, new justice, it speaks and lo, new truth. In ever nobler stature and unexhausted youth, forever on resounding and knowing not of time, our laws but catch the music of its eternal chime. Before I extinguish the chalice and as we prepare to go our different ways, I offer this brief bit of prayer. It is my prayer as we leave this place that the things we do this day and tomorrow and in the days ahead will be good and peaceful and holy, a true reflection of the light that we have shared with one another this weekend. Go out into the world in peace, my dear friends. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you